Hello and welcome back to All Elite Spotlight. I am TNT and we are going over the latest episode of AEW Collision. We had the special Spring Breakthru part 2 of that 2-night special, and we got to enjoy some good professional wrestling in the middle of the week, back to back. So good times, good times. Way to bring in the spring break. And it was a fun night, straightforward night of wrestling. So nothing earth shattering like this past Wednesday when Darby Allin put the world on its head and became the AEW World Champion. So nothing quite like that. But we did have some excellent matchups and a great, excellent match. My match of the night that we'll get to later on. So the opening segment, we had an in-ring promo. This was by Cope. So Adam Copeland came down, no Christian Cage. So the main message from Cope was that CNC were not going away. Cope sporting a pretty serious black eye. He said he had some glue and staples to seal up his cut from Dynasty. So there you have it. Basically, he's saying that they will end FTR. They're not going away. FTR, of course, comes out. Cue their music. And while Cope is focused on them coming down the ramp, he's attacked by Don Callis family members Romero and Trent. So again, they're aligned with FTR. I guess there's some sort of agreement between FTR and the Don Callis family. Monetarily, of course, cash money. So Cage is in a 4-on-1 situation, but out come the Bucks. Out for the save. FTR is super kicked out of the ring. Then Trent, he eats a spear, and Bucks save the day. Cope gives a nod and walks off because the Bucks will be staying in the ring because they have a matchup against the Rascalz. But it's a matchup against the combo of Zachary Wentz and Myron Reed. Desmond Xavier is going to stay in the back and watch. Now, before this match got underway, there was a backstage promo. Perry, he's celebrating that he got past Mark Davis, but he has a beef with Don Callis and his family. You know, he wants Don Callis to pick his opponent for Wednesday night, and Perry, that is, will be defending his national title on AEW Dynamite this coming Wednesday. We don't know the opponent, but it will be a member of the Don Callis family, and one can expect it won't be Mark Davis again. So we'll see who it will be. My guess, El Clone is a distinct possibility, and he's a very good competitor. So Jack Perry should probably watch himself and be wary of who he is just throwing challenges out to. Plus, Don Callis family, known for cheating, so if he wants to hold on to that title, he might want some backup come Wednesday. We shall see. So back to that tag match. We have the Bucks and the Rascalz, and I gotta say the Bucks are in top form. They are firing on all cylinders, as they say, because ever since Revolution, in that match at Revolution, which I thought really match of the night, honestly, but forget it for now. Right now, they are just looking like $1 million, and no pun intended, but really just doing a great job. They look great, they move great, and they just seem to have a certain energy about them. I feel like it's undeniable. Sooner rather than later, at some point, we're going to see them with that 4th tag team title reign. It's just a matter of time, barring any injuries, knock on wood. And the Rascalz, they basically got dominated. So it's a rough week for the Rascalz. Desmond Xavier losing against Ciampa rather convincingly, and then the Rascalz doing the same here. Although they did get in a flurry of offense towards the end and a close call 2 count. That Myron Reed, that burnout move he does where he's hitting the cutter from inside the ring, opponent on the apron, then to the floor. Oof. It's a thing of beauty. I got nervous for Nick Jackson, who's the one that took that, because I don't want to see any injuries for the Bucks, because I really feel like they're on a roll and I want to see the end of this story. But Great move by Myron Reed. Great job by the Rascalz in that little part. And really for the whole match, because it takes both opponents to make a match happen. And the Rascalz did a good job, because the reason the Bucks looked good is because they were up against the Rascalz. They didn't do it themselves, right? So great matchup. The match ended not by BT trigger. That was survived, but the Meltzer driver did the job. Wentz got the pin. I think Myron Reed is ranking higher than him, and I would say Wentz is probably on the bottom rung of that ladder in the power scaling of AEW. But regardless, the Bucks with the victory. That was not the end of the story, because out comes the Dogs. They attack the Bucks from behind, but they don't leave it there. They're also attacking the Rascalz as well, including Xavier, who came out to try to help, and he got powerbombed into the ring post for a thank you. And they ended it. The Rascalz got the worst of it, honestly, because I believe it was Wentz that received that full clip finisher suplex spear combo from the Dogs. And David Finlay took the mic, said, "This is a warning to the entire tag division. Yeah, they're down a man. Gabe Kidd is out, unfortunately for them and unfortunately for him, hoping for a quick recovery for Gabe Kidd. But this is a message to the tag division. So things are heating up for them. They're not going to fall to the back burner. We'll see what happens. Crowded tag division, so I don't expect too much to happen with them, but good for them to be in the mix. With Cage and Cope, FTR, the Bucks, I mean, it'll be tough. I imagine the Dogs will be going up against the Rascalz probably here in the near future. From there, we had a video package of the Divine Dominion, and a package that can only be described as divine. Really well done, high quality, almost an introduction type video, but it was really well done. And I'm a huge fan of Megan Bayne, really growing to like Lena Cross even more. It was just a nice tribute video, let's say, to the awesome team that is the Divine Dominion AEW Women's Tag Team Champions. Well done. From there, we had a Trios Eliminator match. So we have the conglomeration, the Trios champions, Orange Cassidy, Roddy Strong, and Kyle O'Reilly going up against the Lethal Twist. So Jay Lethal, Blake Christian, and Lee Johnson. So no huge entrance like at Dynasty, but the champions do come out with matching backpacks. And what we had was a fun match, right? The Lethal Twist, Jay Lethal, he still got it, never lost it, still great in the ring. Blake Christian and Lee Johnson, they're studs too. Blake Christian, he's really something special. He's really great in the ring, and there's not much that he can't do in there. Seems to have a good ring IQ as well. So it was a good matchup. The main happenings in that was Kyle was attacked while he was standing on the apron by Lethal, hitting the knee, so he was kind of out of the match for the majority of it. It was basically a 3-on-2 with Orange Cassidy and Roddy Strong trying to hold it together until Kyle eventually got back involved. He got, unfortunately, put into a figure four a la Lethal, working on that knee that he attacked earlier on in the match. Roddy was able to save him by power bombing Blake onto Lethal, which then led to Lee eventually getting trapped into Kyle's ankle lock. Cassidy and Roddy were able to hold off Blake and Lethal, and Lee ended up tapping out to that ankle lock. So successful match, not a title defense, but they were victorious in that Eliminator match. So no future title shot for the Lethal Twist, and a good showing for Orange Cassidy and good showing for the Lethal Twist as well, specifically more so for Blake Christian and Lee Johnson, who are trying to further establish themselves in AEW. They were able to highlight themselves. So job well done by them, and we'll see what's next in store for the conglomeration. And from here, we had a backstage promo. We had an actual Hook sighting. So he wasn't gone. So it's been a few weeks, and we actually get to see him again. I thought maybe we could possibly see him in that Casino Gauntlet match at Dynasty, but nope. So it was good to see him up here. And he was confronted by Anthony Bowens, Bowens wants to know if he's in or not. He just wants an answer. And I think we all do at this point, because what's going on? Hook says, okay. Lets him know again that he's the boss of the ops, which the ops really don't matter at this point, right? They're inconsequential. Since Joe's been gone and Hook's been in charge, they've kind of been MIA. And Hook says, okay, you'll find out next week. Bowens is like, okay, walks off. And the big reveal for Hook this week is that he's got to show Shibata a coffee shop. He just won't believe it. It's insane. It's just amazing, this coffee shop. So I don't know. Maybe he's going to go out and check Seth Rollins and Becky's coffee shop. Maybe that's the inside joke. That's the only way I can try to make sense of it, because it's like, come on, Hook, man, be for real. Oh, boy. So who knows? So Hook's dropping a little Easter egg. I don't know at this point. We'll see what happens next week. On to the next match. It's a tag match with Kris Statlander and Hikaru Shida. They're going up against Big Ann and Danica Della Rouge. All right. So pretty straightforward match. I know we all know how this was going to end. Della Rouge did get in a few shots, but by few shots, I mean like 2. And it was pretty straightforward. Like I said, pretty quick victory, not a long match. The main takeaway was, as opposed to their previous tag match, there was no blind tag, no arguing, no distrust, no Shida thinking, maybe I should attack from behind with this kendo stick. No, none of that. Shida did some good work in the ring. She set up Big Ann for the big finisher, tagged in Stat with the little boop on the top of her head rather than on her nose. And Statlander came in. Saturday Night Fever. Game over. Nice peaceful ending. They move up the ramp, all smiles. End of the match. So still a little interesting to see what's going to occur next. We did get them in a backstage promo towards the end of the night. And basically, Shida is celebrating their victory, but Mina interrupts and, she starts talking in Japanese. I can't translate it, sorry. But Mina says she found a kendo stick at the area where she found Tony, and she doesn't trust her. And Shida says something back in Japanese. Mina doesn't seem to like it. Shida walks off, and Mina says to Statlander, don't trust her. We'll see what happens with this. But Mina's now getting into the mix. They're involving the Tony Storm storyline. So I guess a popular belief would have been that it was something to do with Ronda Rousey, since Tony had that interaction with her at Revolution. But possibly it was Shida. We have a new connection here, so we'll see where that leads in the near future. The next match on the card was my match of the night. I mean, I thought it was really good. It was a singles match. It was the Continental Eliminator match between Jon Moxley, Continental Champion, and the returning Nick Wayne, the Ring of Honor TV World Champion. So, commentary team let us know that it had been 264 days that Nick Wayne was out of AEW with a foot injury. We did get to see Mother Wayne come out with him onto the stage because it's Continental title related. She could not be at ringside, so she excused herself. No Death Riders, of course, at ringside either. And Nick Wayne wrestling close to his hometown. Extra annoying as ever with his offense, being extra disrespectful, I guess you can say, with his offense, to the point where Mox steps out of the ring for a while, then gets back in, shakes his hand, but only to give him a pile driver. Hit Nick Wayne with merciless chops at one point. But I thought it was a really good match. Nick Wayne is such a good talent, and Jon Moxley just really knows how to bring out the best of everybody. I mean, he's so great in the ring himself, and his storytelling, his ability to just be a wrestler in there and do all the little things. I mean, is he perfect? No, nobody's perfect. There's some ways that he sells that kind of throws me off sometimes, but actually putting a match together and executing it and just being so forceful and meaningful in everything that he does really translates to good matches. And Nick Wayne, he did not disappoint in his comeback. He showed a lot of fighting spirit. He's going to be in that New Japan Super Junior tournament. So he was definitely showing a lot of that fighting spirit that you see over there. At one point, Mox spit him in his face. Nick Wayne responds by spitting in Jon Moxley's face. He hit Mox with a couple roundhouse kicks, one that busted Mox open instantly. And at that point, it was the 15-minute mark. You hear the announcer say 5 minutes left. And it's almost like Jon Moxley was like, you know what? Flip switched. Nick Wayne fires up again. Moxley's not having it. Boot to the gut. Death Rider. Good night. Match over. But I've got to say, Nick Wayne was pulling out some real smooth moves. Just doing a really good job. He looked really good. Good shape. And definitely his motor was still top notch. He just did well. He did not, like the commentators were saying, like maybe he could have wilted a few years ago prior to the injury. But Nick Wayne has always been a confident wrestler, so I don't know about the whole wilting in the face of adversity. He's always fought through. He's always had solid matches, but he looks even more polished now, more confident, more capable, and he really hung in there with Jon Moxley. It was not a steamrolling match. Nick Wayne definitely gave Moxley a run for his money. I thought it was the match of the night, hands down, no contest. Definitely a excellent match, and it was good to see Nick Wayne back, even though he's such a brat and he's just so unlikable, hateable, however you want to term it, but he's that guy. From there, we got a backstage promo with Don Callis and Okada, and Don Callis is saying that by the rules of the agreement, Takeshita did not really fulfill his end of the bargain at Dynasty. He didn't work together like they were supposed to in order to move on to Double or Nothing and get a shot at that international title. So he tells Okada, I'm sure there's a way where you don't have to do this match. But Okada wants the match. He wants to teach Takeshita some respect. He wants to put him in his place, which is going to be a mistake because it's Takeshita's time. He says Takeshita's not a champion. Come Double or Nothing, I'm pretty sure he will be. But we will see, because Okada does not really lose, especially in title matches. But my money's on Takeshita as of right now. Next, we had a singles match. We had Death Rider Pac going against Blackheart Lio Rush. Pac with Daniel Garcia in his corner. And this is Lio Rush's persona now, where he's talking to himself constantly. He's like this almost horror figure. He's got a broken mind. People have called him like a Gollum character from Lord of the Rings. But I really like it. He was in the beginning just talking to himself, saying that, oh, Pac is this guy. He was known as the king. Does he remember us? Just talking to himself. Threw Pac off. I like that Pac was playing his part in it. And, he was acting like, what's going on here? And that kind of went throughout the match. There was even a point where he was like backing up and almost running around the ring to get away from Lio Rush. And during that part, Lio actually attacked Daniel Garcia. Thankfully, Pac came back and saved him and ended up delivering a tombstone pile driver on poor Lio Rush on the outside of the ring. Another thing from this new persona, this Blackheart Lio Rush, that I like is the little gallop he does in the ring before he goes and does a suicide dive. That's pretty cool too. But in the end, Daniel Garcia ran interference and Lio Rush was put in a brutalizer. Lio Rush passed out, but with a smile on his face. So showing some of that derangement again. But fun little match for what it was worth. Entertaining for sure. And good to see this character for Lio Rush. We'll see where it goes. I don't envision big things, but it's still something, and it's entertaining. Quick video package for Bandito. It's kind of like the old school ones where when he was first coming into AEW, Western movie style, just saying he's the most wanted. That led straight into a trios match with his Brodito partner, Brody King. He's teaming up with 2/3 of the CMLL trios champions, Mascara Dorada and Mystico. And they're going against Ricky Gibson, Casey Riff, and Cole Rivera. Basically, this match is what you would think it would be. There's a couple chops, a couple tope suicidas, and a gonzo bomb. Over and done with. Moving right along. From there, we had a video package of the glory of AEW Dynamite, where they recapped Darby and MJF, the build up to their match on Wednesday night, the conclusion of the match, the moments with Sting. It was so good. I'm like getting goosebumps again. What a great wrestling night. What a great moment for AEW history. I mean, it's just one of those nights where you're going to be like, oh yeah, I remember. Remember that night? Remember Darby, his first world title victory? I say first. Hopefully there'll be more. Hopefully this is a long run, but it was just great. Great moment. Enjoyed it. Just happy to have it. Happy for him. Happy for the business. Great stuff. From there was the main event, women's world title match, Thekla versus Alex Windsor. Straightforward. I don't think any of us expected a title change here. Thekla did not disappoint. She got her stuff in. Alex had a little offense as well. She did a sharpshooter Owen Hart style, which I like, with her hand interlocked in there as well. But in the end, it was Thekla resorting to underhanded tactics again. So not a straight up win, which is good for Alex Windsor, right? So Thekla, she pulled out the brass knucks. They were up on the top rope. Windsor went for a sunset flip powerbomb. Thekla fought it off, hit her with the brass knucks, tossed him out the ring. Windsor's on the floor. Thekla delivers a stomp. 1, 2, 3. End of the match. End of the night. Thekla successful again. Underhanded tactics. No outside interference, but cheating nonetheless. Was it necessary? I guess that's her MO. She is a heel after all. And I guess she's one of those spiders that hunt and eat birds, because she just took 2 of them down. No problem. Well, not no problem, but to be expected. Kind of no problem. And that was the end of the night. So, like I said, just a fun little night of wrestling. Got to see some great matches. Definitely that Mox and Nick Wayne match. I hope you caught it. If you missed it for any reason, please check it out. It was definitely match of the night. One of the top matches of the weekend. They did announce for Dynamite, we'll see Mina Shirakawa versus Hikaru Shida. Will Ospreay versus Mark Davis after being attacked last Dynamite. And we'll hear from the new AEW World Champion, Darby Allin. So looking forward to that. So thank you all for watching. Thank you to all of you who have already subscribed. If you haven't, please do subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good stuff. And have a great rest of your day, night, whenever you're watching this. And until I can speak to you again, take care of yourselves.